Welcome back. In this and the subsequent steps, we will start setting up a simple service on the currency exchange service. As usual, we'll go to start.spring.io and pick up Maven project, Java, and use a version of Spring Boot which is greater than 2.0.0. As usual, do not use snapshots. The group ID is the same, common 28 minutes microservices. The artifact ID, I would want to use currency exchange service. Be very cautious about it. Currency hyphen exchange hyphen service. And we would want to create a web application. Actually, we would want to create a service, a REST service. So I'll use web. That's the one which you would use to create RESTful web services. I would want it to be able to automatically pick up changes, dev tools. I would also want to be able to monitor the application actuator. We would want to connect the application to a Spring Cloud config server. So we would need config client. So config client. So those are the 4 dependencies that you would need. Important things that you would need to be cautious about are A, the version of Spring Boot, at least 2.0.0, and do not use a snapshot. The other ones are give the proper artifact ID, currency hyphen exchange hyphen service, and make sure that you would choose all the 4 dependencies that are present in here. The most important one are web and config client. Once you have done that, you are ready to now generate a project. If you click generate project, it would download a zip. Make sure that you unzip the zip file to a specific folder, and we can import the project from Eclipse. I can import that project into Eclipse by file, import existing Maven projects, and I would want to use, I've copied the zip file to this specific location, 03 microservices currency exchange service, and I would press a tab, and now you can see currency exchange service being listed down here. I can click the finish. When the import is complete, you would see a folder setup similar to what you would see in here. You would have source main Java, source main resources, sources Java, and Maven dependencies where all the dependencies of this project are listed down. What I would also want to do is to make sure that the application name for this application is properly configured. The application name that I would want to assign for this is spring.application.name. The name which we would want to give it is exactly what we used as the artifact ID, currency exchange service. Make sure that you get this absolutely right, currency hyphen exchange hyphen service. The other thing we would want to be really cautious about is the port that we use for the currency exchange service. As we discussed earlier, the ports which we want to use is 8000, 8001 and 8002. So I would set the default port to 8000. How do we set the server port? Server dot is equal to 8000. When you start this application up, you'd see that the application would start up fine. However, we have not really exposed any services out of it yet. In the next step, we'll create a simple currency exchange service. Until then, bye-bye.